Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV with me, Sylvia Zulu. Here are the headlines making top stories in our news tonight. Government urged to abandon online media regulation plans. Court slaps child battering Apollo Army wife a 7-year imprisonment. Hailstorm leaves 20 families homeless in LUPOSOSHI district. In international news, Nigeria warns of more possible kidnappings. And in sports news, Grant picks squad for Malawi FIFA-WINDOW tournament. Do join me with the details after this.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Another news in detail. The family for the late 4th Republican President, Rupiah Banda, has thanked government for the support rendered before, during and after his demise. Speaking during the 2nd anniversary of his death at the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross in Lusaka, Fisher Mwale says the family is grateful to both the former head of state, Edgar Lungu, and President Hakainde Hichilema for their unwavering support towards the family. Meanwhile, former Special Assistant and Public Relations Officer in the late former President's office, Dixon Jerry, has advised politicians to emulate the forgiving nature of Mr. Banda.
Rupiah Banda, born 19th February 1937 and died on the 11th of March 2022, was a Zambian politician who served as the 4th Republican President of Zambia from 2008 to 2011, taking over from Levi Patrick Mwanawasa. The former head of state died aged 85 after battling with colon cancer. Speaking at his memorial service in Lusaka, family representative Fisher Mwale says the Banda family is grateful for the support the family has continued to receive even after the death of the former head of state.
President Hichilema, your personal support, including visitations to our country during his illness and the funeral are greatly treasured. You went out of your way to ensure that no effort or expense was spared to try and secure the good health of our patriots. Through you, Your Excellency, our loved one was given a befitting and dignified send-off by the great people of Zambia, Thank you. In the same breath, we wish to thank His Excellency, the former 6th Republican President Edgar Chagalondo, for the support that was available to the late President. You were magnanimous, sir, and went out of your way to be there for your late brother. The family remains grateful.
Meanwhile, then Special Assistant to the President for Press and Public Relations, Dickson Jerry, says politicians must emulate the late President's nature of forgiveness to ensure peace in the country's political space.
Forgiveness. So those of us who work with him closely, we know that to honor him is to be able to forgive each other, especially the political space. Those in the opposition and those in government must work with each other as one in terms of developing the country.
And Water Development and Sanitation Minister Mike Imposha had this to say.
Remember, Alabi as a gentleman who was always available when called upon, to work for the country from the time he was a youth up to in his adult age. But also as a man who really poured out his heart. Those that were very close to him, that reached out to him, like it was even said there, he was always a very jovial man, but always looking for solutions whenever there were challenges.
In 2014, Rupiah Banda hinted a controversial possible return to politics after being defeated in the 2011 general elections. A diplomat all his life, his last notable assignment was to host President Hakainde Hichilema and former President Edgar Chagwa for a meeting in what is widely viewed as a key intervention in the 2021 election transition. Cherish Sibote. For Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Media Liaison Committee has urged government to abandon plans of giving the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, mandate to regulate social media and focus on abolishing the Cyber Law Act as promised whilst in opposition. In an interview, MLC Chairperson Ernest Chanda says the move is retrogressive in a democratic state such as Zambia. Veteran journalist and former ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba says the party in government has always used Facebook and other online platforms for campaigns and does not see the need for the regulation. Mr. Mwamba says online platforms are used as tools for expression by citizens, and attempts to regulate the space amounts to shut down the democratic space.
Last Thursday, Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana said the Independent Broadcasting Authority intends to regulate online media as a way to ease facilitation of issuance of licenses. This statement has been received with mixed reactions from the media sector. The Media Liaison Committee says the intention is retrogressive and has urged the government to instead abolish the Cyber Law Act. Speaking to Camnet News, Media Liaison Committee Chairperson Ernest Chanda says the UPND administration that run various media pages should firstly censor themselves before they censor people's views online.
Aggressive. In the first place, this is a party in power which, when in opposition, promised to abolish the Cyber Law. They are now 2.5 years in office. They have kept quiet on this law. They haven't abolished it. President Hichilema himself, as an opposition leader, promised that the moment is sworn in, the next move will be to abolish the Cyber Law. But they have continued enjoying the abuse of this law at the expense of the freedoms of citizens. Online space is the only space we have left for citizens to express themselves freely. What do they want to do? What do they want to achieve? Are they entrenching a dictatorship in the country? Because this is how dictatorships start.
And PF National Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, says the UPND government is determined to shut down democratic media in the country.
What's wrong with what we are doing? What we are doing is just having conversation on Facebook. Where is the problem? The problem is that this government is determined to shut down all democratic media and civil spaces. This government is determined to shut everyone. They want the country quiet. They want those that are talking who they can regulate. The UPND and to President Hakainde Hichilema allow media freedom to thrive. Allow the media to breathe. Allow Facebook. You used Facebook for all your campaigns.
Meanwhile, a young Facebook blogger, Daliso Lungu, says the intention is a step in the right direction as it will protect the image of the country. He says there is need to put in place social media policies that regulate what people post online.
It is a step in the right direction because it will help protect the image of the country in the sense that oftentimes when people are producing content online, they don't consider the legal factors that come with it. People express themselves freely, but again, they don't focus on the moral aspect that comes with the information that they're bringing out. So I feel even companies now that produce content online, either video, audio, or through posters, they must now start looking at putting in social media policies that will guide their work, because this will also protect even the peace that which we enjoy in our country. And
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
LUPOSOSHI District Council Chairperson Kelvin Mwansa has called on the government to construct feeder roads in the area to facilitate social and economic development. Mr. Mwansa says the road network in the district remains poor, hence making it difficult for both local people and government institutions to carry out their activities. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Mwansa has, however, thanked the government for its commitment to ensure that LUPOSOSHI attain a full district status through construction of new civic center and classroom blocks.
By a vehicle for the district under the policy department. So in that manner, we should just appreciate what is good. And once something is done which is great to the people, we need to appreciate the leadership which is in government today. And again, we are able to open up our new CBD Civic Center, which we have just which is 97% complete, where we'll be operating as the council. And again, we are able to construct, and very soon we'll complete some school challenges, school infrastructure, which is a very big challenge we have right now. Like, yes, we are okay, Kuma transports, we can't say much on the road network. Yes, we are still in trouble as government is not yet done enough in terms of road infrastructure here in the district. We are a bit behind, and we are still appealing to the government, and again, whatever we can do as local authority through the CDF. So as the Council for LUPOSOSHI, we are intending to buy a grader so that it can also help us to do on some feeder roads within the district.
The National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, has appealed to the government to introduce amnesty to civil servants who acquired farming loans from the Public Service Microfinance Company but had their fields damaged. Commenting on the declaration of the El Nino-induced drought as a national disaster by President Hakainde Hichilema, NUPEZ Executive Victor Muyumba says the government should come up with a mechanism to cancel loans or become lenient to civil servants who will prove that their fields were damaged. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Muyumba says failure to come up with a mechanism to help the indebted civil servants will leave them demotivated to work.
To respond to ever-increasing minimum prices and low production of maize in the country, government in 2023 unveiled the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility, to be referred to as the Agriculture Credit Window. The initiative aimed at boosting food security and reduce minimum prices in Zambia by incorporating civil servants in farming activities through provision of loans by the Public Service Microfinance Company, a feature absent in the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. In his address during the official opening of the third session of the 13th National Assembly in Lusaka, the credit window was among the major highlights of President Hakainde Hichilema.
Purchase price of maize to 280 kwacha from 180 kwacha per 50 kg bag to stimulate production. Establishing a credit window to support small-scale and large-scale farmers in the public sector.
Despite take-off challenges, the credit window in the 2023-24 farming season received massive response among civil servants, but output has been hampered by the drought, which is known to have affected 84 districts. It is for this reason that the National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, through Executive President Victor Muyumba, is calling on government to come up with amnesty for civil servants on the credit window whose crops have been lavished by the drought.
So we are saying it may not be all the provinces that were affected, but those that are in provinces that were affected. And there is evidence that these people planted the crops and the crops withered. There should be some amnesty, there should be some leniency shown to these workers. And I think going forward we will try to engage government formally so that this issue is dealt with. Because
speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Muyumba says leaving the civil servants without intervention will cause demotivation as a result of stress and lead to low productivity in their work. Meanwhile, Mr. Muyumba has called on all citizens and organizations, including the church, to take an active role in activities aimed at fighting climate change to reverse the negative impacts of the scourge on the country's social and economic development.
So our prayer is that government should come up with the activities for the people. If it's the schools, let each and every school plant not less than 500 trees. And this is supposed to be ongoing. Churches, it's not only about praying. Somebody said that prayer is in the liberation equation, but action is in the success equation.
For Camnet TV News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The National Council of Student Unions, NACOSU, has called on foreign dignitaries in Zambia to assist in expediting the debt restructuring process as the country grapples with the adverse effects of the El Nino phenomenon. Speaking at a major briefing in Lusaka, NACOSU chairperson Mijelo Chizombe says the public should desist from politicizing the climate-induced challenges as they are a global problem. Mr. Chizombe has since called on the private sector and various stakeholders to supplement efforts government is making in mitigating the impact of the national disaster. Meanwhile, NACOSU Vice Chairperson Vincent Musirikani has expressed gratitude to the New Dawn administration for the unwavering support and leadership shown to the student populace in various universities.
On the 22nd of June 2023, Zambia reached an agreement with the Official Creditor Committee to restructure its debt of $6.3 billion. After delays in the process, on the 24th of February 2024, President Hakainde Hichilema finally announced that Zambia had concluded the debt restructuring deal with official creditors after last two countries, China and India, signed credit agreements paving the way for agreements with private creditors. However, the much-anticipated benefits that will come with this development, once finalized, are yet to be seen by Zambians. In light of this, the National Council of Student Unions has appealed to the official and private creditors through various foreign dignitaries in Zambia to help expedite the process as the country is faced with various challenges emanating from the national disaster.
Escalated help to the devastated farmers in the far-flung areas of this nation. We are calling for supplementing of efforts that have been commenced by the Zambia National Service and other defense wings to call for more pumping of resources to have winter growth of maize irrigation so that we can have food security for the country.
Mr. Chizombe has further urged the public to refrain from politicizing the El Nino phenomenon-induced drought that has caused a significant threat to the country's key economic sectors, as it is a global crisis.
I agree here that the President, government and other stakeholders really made a clarion call prior to this farming season for people to go back to the land. And we as students did also go back to the land. And we as well are in the aftermath of the wrath of the El Nino and the effects of climate change.
Meanwhile, NACOSU Vice Chairperson Vincent Musirikani has thanked government for the support rendered to the students in various universities across the country.
Your Excellency, would like to extend our sincere appreciation for your visionary leadership and unwavering support for higher education. Your efforts are truly making a difference in the lives of countless individuals and shaping a brighter future for our country. Thank you once more for your steadfast commitment in advancing education and empowering the next generation of leaders.
Chanda Mwangu for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Opposition Patriotic Front PF Chama South Member of Parliament Davison Mungandu has called on members of Parliament to work with the government to ensure smooth implementation of development programs. Mr. Mungandu, who has chosen to work with the United Party for National Development UPND administration, argues that politicking does not bring development, but collaboration with those in power. He has further advised his colleagues in the opposition to desist from demonizing those that have chosen to work with President Hakainde Hichilema and his government. He says working with the government of the day does not make one a sellout, but a patriotic citizen concerned about the welfare of the people they were elected to serve.
Politics is all about. Then there's this song about, this one has been bought, that one has been bought. Colleagues, if you were buying people, UPND does not buy people. Maybe others. I've never seen a UPND, for example, enticing some of us with money. And I can challenge anyone in UPND who can come out to say, Honorable Mungandu, we offered you this. Can we be attracted to certain leaders based on their ideas? I've been attracted to work with President HH because of the ideas and what he is presenting to the country. I know others will talk about the challenges the country is going through. This would not be the right platform because we need enough time to explain the historical background of the challenges the country is going through. Can we look at the remedial measures that the current government is putting in place? Are they correct? Are they yielding desired results? To talk about economics, people don't want to talk about graphs. It's not everyone who can talk about tonsillectomy. It's not everyone who can talk about immunology. It's the people who are learned. On economics, everyone wants to talk. That's not how economics operates. Economists will tell you that what is being done is the correct thing. And this platform probably would not give me enough time. Time will come when we explain, based on what we know, our knowledge levels, on economic matters, to explain to the Zambian people why we are where we are and how we are slowly getting out of the situation that we've been in and who created the situation we are in. So, in short, it's time to work with the government, support the president. Imagine if God allows.
The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, in Southern Province has apprehended 4 individuals believed to be behind illicit drug trade in Choma town. The suspects have been identified as Lushomo Banda, aged 21, Gift Mudenda, aged 20, Lakson Mulunda, aged 23, and Simon Mushiliki, age 27, or of Choma Town area. Meanwhile, in Northern Province, the Commission has executed 2 separate but well-coordinated operations, leading to the apprehension of 2 suspects and the seizure of fresh cannabis plants weighing 527.3 kilograms.
The Drug Enforcement Commission in Choma, Southern Province, has arrested 4 individuals allegedly believed to have been masterminds behind the illicit drug trade in Choma Town. Of the 4, Lushomo Banda, male age 21, was found with 68 sachets of heroin, while Gift Mudenda, Lakson Mulunda, and Simon Mashikini were caught with loose cannabis. This operation aimed at curbing drug trafficking in the area, ensuring community safety. In Northern Province, we also conducted 2 separate operations which led to the arrest of Fabian Chipasha, male age 67, and Gabriel Chama, male age 35, for unlawful cultivation of fresh cannabis. Chipasha from Chitoshi village was cultivating 482 kilograms of fresh cannabis, while Chama from Kabuta village had 45.3 kilograms of fresh cannabis. The Commission seized a total of 527.3 kilograms of fresh cannabis in these operations, which is more than half a ton, underscoring efforts to combat drug-related crime in the region. All suspects face charges under Section 15 of the Narcotic and Psychotropic Substances Act No. 35 of 2021 of the laws of Zambia. They are currently in police custody and will appear in court soon. The Commission remains committed to swift actions to deter illegal trade, protecting communities from the associated violence and crime.
About 20 families of Loti village in Senior Chieftainess Chungu in Lupososhi district have been left homeless following a hailstorm which ravaged the area on Sunday. A check by District Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit Coordinator Levitkas Kabwe in the company of the local leadership revealed that 18 structures completely collapsed. One of the affected residents, James Kabwe, says the destruction of the storm is immense as it has left him homeless with all food destroyed. Meanwhile, Kapemba Ward Councillor Bernard Chishimba has called on the government to help construct modern structures at Luengwe Primary School.
Devastating hailstorm has left a trail of destruction in Lupososhi district, Northern Province, where not even trees were spared. A check by the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit found about 20 families of Lwetu village in Senior Chieftainess Chungu, Lupososhi district, homeless after Sunday's hailstorm. One of the affected, James Kabwe, has called on the state to quickly respond to the disaster so as to create a conducive environment. The teachers at Luenga Primary School expressed shock at the incident.
High risk. Those are not standard houses for workers like teachers. No. If you have to share in Nakan, have children. That one, another one, these are now and they're about 4. Ama age ashingalingana nama age abana bakwete bambi ama fellow teachers balandi so easy nkambo kufundanga na kwata standard house, that is
houses for the teachers, because we can't be staying like this because we are risking our lives staying in these houses. They are not conducive for us to stay, so we need the government to intervene.
And village headman Pethias Msonda says government should look into the matter with the agency it deserves.
so nachinza kamike echoini.
Meanwhile, Kabampe Ward Councillor Bernard Chishimba has appealed to the state to help with the construction of structures at Luenga Primary School, explaining that the school in question has only a 1:2 classroom against a population of 505 pupils. Mr. Chishimba further says last year, similar sentiments were made by the local people, yet proved no tangible results.
CDF eko iri nomba tulefu aya batukulireko na panwe chikuru bwangu twalira DMMU disaster management ifire bwangu yabutukira abantu balefu efi yakulya apa akulata bakwete omuntu wapitana apa akulata bakwete abana b'amasukuru amabuku vitabo vyonse na fyonaika panto vichachitike munkwangu fyanya bwangu mwela wali bipa mfula yali ya mabwe so mwebuteko butukireni bwangu leteni amatenti ufyakulira abantu balafa kunsala tete.
Prudence Chibwe for Camnet TV News.
We now take our first set of commercials. I will be back with more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mosi Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We now continue with more news. Lumezi District Education Board Secretary Misozi Mwenya says the Uplift project being implemented by World Vision and the Forum for African Women Educationalists in Zambia has been instrumental in improving the standards of education in the district. Ms. Mwenya says to make progress toward achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 4, partnerships are vital. Meanwhile, at Forum for Women Educationalists in Zambia, Fawezi Lumezi District Uplift Education Project Program Officer Deborah Mushilingwa says stakeholder cooperation is vital towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 4 on education. World Vision and the Forum for African Women Educationalists in Zambia have been implementing a €1.3 million uplift education project targeting 1,750 pupils in 120 schools based in Lumezi and Lundazi districts in Eastern Province.
Project ya next time walikuwa nandi kupambana kuti walingati wali 14 wasakashire koso futi nyengwe yake because ndisi anthu osuzika chomene kuno kumalambo kunyama kulya vyakulya so nandi ngashire mata onga chomene kulingana project umyazera.
So for learners it's not easy, especially for the area that we are visiting here, Kazembe. It's one of the toughest places to touch. So with the free education, it does not cater for the stationery for the children. It does not cater for the sanitary pads. So that is why we had to include also stationery, which is the books, the bags and the pens.
They've performed wonders. Uplift is doing a lot of things, not just the provision of education materials like uniform, but they are also into water and sanitation. They've helped a lot of schools, especially in Chikomeni zone, and they've done a lot of trainings for our teachers, especially EC teachers, because they are into ECE, and they've provided a lot of teaching and learning materials. Right now, as I'm talking, in cooperation with Faweza, they are providing uniforms, and these are being given to orphaned and vulnerable children in the schools. So they are giving out uniforms, they are giving out shoes, books, school bags, pens and pencils. And also, in addition, they are providing sanitary towels to those girls that have come.
Police in Lusaka have launched a manhunt for a 33-year-old man from Kalikiliki compound, identified as Moffat Zulu, for the suspected murder of his girlfriend, Florence Mulesaka of Mutendere East. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale says it is alleged that on 10th March 2024, around 12:30 hours, the deceased was found unconscious in the suspect's room by one of the neighbors. He adds that police, upon being alerted, rushed to the scene where they found stains on the mattress, bed sheets and curtains, and found the victim laying unresponsive on the bed facing upwards while the suspect had run away. Meanwhile, a 29-year-old woman identified as Edina Lungu from Lusaka's Kabwata area was on 9th March 2024 found dead inside her boyfriend's car around 21:50 hours. Police have since opened an inquiry into the matter.
Police are looking for a 33-year-old man of Kalikili compound in Lusaka, identified as Moffat Zulu, in connection with the murder of his girlfriend. The deceased was identified as Florence Mole Masaka, aged 30, of Mtendere East in Lusaka. She was found unconscious inside the room of the suspect on March 10, 2024, around 12:30 hours by one of the neighbors. Police officers immediately rushed to the scene after they were alerted and found the victim lying unresponsive on the bed, facing upwards, while the suspect had run away. Further, officers discovered bloodstains on the mattress, bed sheets, and the curtain. Investigations revealed that the suspect had been staying with the girlfriend from March 7, 2024, and on March 10, 2024, around 12:30 hours, he told his 64-year-old father that the girlfriend was unwell and that he needed money to take her to the hospital. The father approached one of the neighbors for help, and a taxi was called. While waiting for the taxi, the said neighbor went to check on the patient only to discover that she was unconscious. Police officers rushed the victim to the hospital where she was pronounced dead upon arrival. The body was deposited in the University Teaching Hospital mortuary awaiting formal identification and post-mortem. And the 29-year-old woman, only identified as Edina Lungu, died while seated inside her boyfriend's car. The incident occurred on March 9, 2024, around 21:50 hours in Lusaka's Kawata area. Preliminary investigations indicate that the deceased was drinking beer with her boyfriend, aged 36, of Libala South area in Lusaka, and around 21:50 hours, she is alleged to have collapsed while seated inside the car, and the boyfriend immediately rushed her to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The body is in UTH mortuary awaiting post-mortem. Police have opened an inquiry file into the matter.
A Copperbelt-based United Party for National Development UPND member Kefas Chisanga has urged farmers affected with the drought to take advantage of various government initiatives to lessen their suffering. Mr. Chisanga says the government has introduced programs to support farmers with irrigation mechanization, and those in suitable areas should approach district agricultural officers to assess the service. He was speaking in an interview with Camnet News Monday afternoon.
Irrigation, serious irrigation, because we know our consumption per annum is 1.5 million metric tons, but looking at the the crop and the drought, we may harvest less than that. So to cover up, this is why government has brought this window to give citizens. So we are urging citizens to go and also take advantage of this empowerment, of this window, to go and get equipments, to go and get loans. Those who have some dumbo areas where they have water near rivers, they have bores, please, we are urging you. Government begins with you. It's not President Hakainde that is going to cultivate, it's you citizens. So get involved in this. Together, we are going to fight this challenge.
Government, through the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, released about 11.7 billion kwacha in the month of February. Out the amount, 911.3 million kwacha was channeled to capital expenditure programs. On the other hand, 453.9 million kwacha was directed to the operations of hospitals and grant-aided institutions in government ministries. 258.6 million kwacha went towards the social cash transfer program, and 380 million kwacha is said to have gone towards public service pension funds as a funding gap and an operation grant. The Government Equalization Fund received about 120.8 million kwacha. University operations, student loans and scholarships were located 145.4 million kwacha, with 300 million kwacha directed to the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP. This is according to the statement issued by the Office of the Secretary to the Treasury in the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. In court news, the Lusaka Magistrate Court has sentenced a 29-year-old stepmother of Lusaka's Apollo military camp to 7 years imprisonment for assaulting her 4-year-old stepson. In passing judgment Monday afternoon, Lusaka Magistrate Mutinta Mwenya found the convict of assaulting the juvenile, who testified to the act contrary to the convict's defense that the bruises and cuts were as a result of the careless behavior of the victim. Speaking shortly after judgment, grandfather to the victim, Vincent Martin Mambo, expressed happiness, describing the sentence as justice for the juvenile. The convict was facing 1 count of assault of a child contrary to the laws of Zambia.
High emotions filled the corridors of Lusaka Magistrate Court Monday as family members of the 4-year-old boy was assaulted by his stepmother in Lusaka's Apollo military camp awaited justice, while the accused family prayed for a miracle to happen when for the public it was a day to draw lessons and burying the anxiety. This is a matter in which a 29-year-old Longwengos of Apollo military camp was facing 1 count of assault of a child contrary to the laws of Zambia. The now convict made headlines in August 2023 when a video went viral of the juvenile bruised and being questioned by a teacher in a uniform on Facebook, prompting an investigation by the Zambia police, who revealed that the offense was allegedly committed when the father to the juvenile, who is an army officer, was on duty in Zambezi district. Delivering judgment Monday, Lusaka Magistrate Mutinta Mwanya convicted and sentenced the stepmother to 7 years imprisonment effective 11th August 2023 as the state proved the case beyond reasonable doubt. Magistrate Mwanya indicated that, as per the testimony of the victim, the convict beat him on the face, nose, and used the hosepipe commonly known as a shamboko and a knife to injure him, and findings of the medical report show that it is clear that the bruises the juvenile suffered are beyond Mrs. Longwe's submissions that the scars and injuries suffered by the boy were from mere careless behavior. Before passing judgment, grandfather and father to the late biological mother to the victim, Maxwell Mambo, 73, of Mount Makuru in Chilanga, rendered a victim impact statement and told the court that the juvenile has lost weight and is no longer happy like in the olden days. Mr. Mambo told the court that from his last visit to social welfare, where the juvenile is, the doctor explained that as a result of the injury suffered, one leg is shorter than the other and fears that the juvenile may not realize his full potential going forward. The grandfather also fears that the scars on his body for a long time to come will bring unhappiness to the juvenile, especially when people ask what happened in the future. As the heavy atmosphere hung over the Lusaka Magistrate Court among family members, remember, the coin has both sides.
We feel happy that at least at the end of it just has prevailed. It has been a tormenting period from the time when this happened, because you see, a young boy who cannot speak for himself finds himself in such a situation. So as a family, we are happy that just at the end of it has come out.
Please, teachers out there, be mindful. Our learners go through a lot. They come with a lot of problems from their homes. Just be attentive to listen to their stories, and God will serve you better in that way. So just an advice and encouragement to every teacher out there, please, let's be attentive and pay more attention to our learners.
But the other side of the coin could only despair and claim injustice.
Are you happy? You thought I'm happy?
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The state has told the Lusaka High Court that it followed all necessary procedures in the arrest and detention of Lusaka businessman Shadrack Kasanda last week. This follows the businessman's detention on alleged aggravated robbery and application before the High Court for an order that the state should present him before the courts of law and urge the court to scrutinize his arrest on 26th February 2024. But Zambia Police Service Deputy Inspector under the Airports Division Unit, Arnold Kawangu, has also told the courts that the charge Kasanda is facing is non-bailable and constitutional provision was breached.
Embattled court scam suspect and Lusaka businessman Cedric Kasanda has hit a snag in his legal pursuit to order the police to take him to court over his recent arrest for alleged aggravated robbery. This follows the state's submissions before the Lusaka High Court that all necessary procedures in Kasanda's arrest and detention were followed, and a docket was sent to the National Prosecution Authority (NPA) to facilitate his court appearance. In this matter, Cedric Kasanda asked the Lusaka High Court last week to order the police to present him before the court, citing that he has been in police custody since 26 February 2024. The businessman also urged the court to keenly analyze his detention at Lusaka Twin Palm Police Station, which he described as illegal and unconstitutional. But Zambia Police Service Deputy Inspector under the Airports Division Unit, Arnold Kawangu, has told the court that the charge Kasanda is facing is non-bailable in an affidavit in opposition to an application for leave to issue a writ of habeas corpus filed in the Lusaka High Court. Mr. Kawangu states that Kasanda was arrested after a report that while acting together with others, he stole $5 million belonging to an Egyptian national, Adel Boutros, and threatened to use actual violence. The Deputy Inspector Airport Division also submits that after conducting initial investigations, Cedric Kasanda was again arrested on February 26, 2024 on a charge of aggravated robbery. Last year, the embattled businessman and 5 others were arrested, including Lusaka businessman Jim Belemu, and charged with espionage in relation to the fake gold scam involving $5.7 million at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, but later was slapped with another charge of aggravated robbery, but was yet to appear in court for the said charge. Earlier this year, police also arrested and charged Kasanda and 3 others with 7 counts of obtaining money by false pretenses. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
We now take our last break. I will be back with some international stories and sports news. Stay tuned.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
And now for the rest of the news. In international news, Nigeria's federal government has reportedly listed schools in 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, at risk of attacks by bandits and insurgents. Local media cited the National Coordinator of State-Run Financing Safe Schools. If Coordinator Haja Halima Iliya didn't name specific states on Sunday, newspaper The Punch reports that most of the 14 states are in Nigeria's north and east. The Financing Safe Schools National Coordinator also said that the agency had collected data to guide intervention measures. For this and other international stories, we monitored African News.
Nigeria's federal government has reportedly listed schools in 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory as at risk of attacks by bandits and insurgents. Local media have cited the National Coordinator of State-Run Financing State Schools. If Coordinator Hajia Halima Iliya didn't name specific states on Sunday, newspaper The Punch reports that most of the 14 states are in Nigeria's north and east. The Financing Safe Schools National Coordinator said that the agency had collected data to guide intervention measures. On March 7th, gunmen kidnapped 287 students in the Kaduna State town of Kuriga in north-central Nigeria. On March 9th, armed men broke into a boarding school in Gidan Bakuso village in Sokoto State, northwestern Nigeria, and seized 15 children. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said on March 8th that he directed security and intelligence agencies to rescue the victims and ensure that justice is served against the perpetrators. Since the kidnapping of 276 schoolgirls by Boko Haram fighters in 2014, the number of students abducted has reportedly risen to more than 1,400.
Ethiopia and representatives from the regional state of Tigray held talks Monday aimed at resolving the lingering issues about the implementation of a ceasefire agreement reached in November 2022. The deal signed in Pretoria, South Africa, ended more than 2 years of deadly fighting. Under the accord, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, agreed to stop fighting, disarm and to hand over heavy weapons to the federal army. Ethiopia would in exchange scale up the provision of humanitarian assistance, remove the presence of foreign forces and fund the reconstruction of war-affected areas. But Tigray's leaders have accused Addis Ababa of reneging on the deal and refusing to implement key clauses of the understanding brokered by the African Union. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo and Kenya's Uhuru Kenyatta are mediating the talks. The fighting began in 2020 when TPLF fighters attacked federal forces.
Rockstar Success Mastra, the Chadian Prime Minister, made a surprise appearance at a meeting of his party on March 10, 2024. He was welcomed by thousands of supporters with songs upon his return from the CAC meeting held on Saturday in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. Masra has decided to accept his party's nomination for the presidential election in front of his numerous supporters.
Nourri par votre esprit patriotique, convaincu par le chemin de dur tracé ensemble.
Nourished by your patriotic spirit, convinced by the tough path we've walked through, determined to elevate the country to new heights,
pour servir le peuple tchadien, le Tchadien.
We're here as candidates to serve the Chadian people, Chadian men and women. Yes, I'm a candidate, and we are candidates to become the next leaders of the country. The party members declared their readiness since the inception of the party and are prepared for the upcoming challenge. We have been committed for a long time and are ready to embark on campaigns and do everything possible to reach the presidency. We have been candidates since the inception of Le Transformateur. Although some may have not fully embraced this appointment as Prime Minister, they remain convinced that much could be done for change. Many people are discouraged and upset because he accepted to be Prime Minister. And we are pleased because we need to be on the inside to see what is happening. If you stay outside to criticize, you won't bring about any change. Masra requested a minute to honor the memory of those who died during the tragic event in recent weeks.
In sports news, Chipolo Polo coach Avram Grant has a 24-member provisional squad for the FIFA-WINDOW Foreign Nations tournament to be staged in Malawi. Grant has named a blend of players from the Cote d'Ivoire 2023 Africa Cup of Nations campaign and newbies for the tournament. Among the selected players include Lawrence Mulenga as goalkeeper, whilst Benedict Dipenshi, Sefenia Piri, Stopila Nsunzu, Frank Musonda as defenders. Benson Sakala, Lubambo Musonda, Emmanuel Banda, Frederick Mulambia, Joshua Mutale and Cletus Chama come in as midfielders, and Patson Daka, Kennedy Musonda, Andrew Piri, Gordon Mashata, Lamek Banda as strikers. Zambia will join hosts Malawi, Zimbabwe and Kenya in a tournament being used as part of preparations for the June round of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The Malawi tournament will take place from March 18th to 26th and will see each of the four nations play at least 2 games. The Chipolo Polo will be away to Morocco before hosting Tanzania at home in Group E encounters during the window June 3rd to 11th.
The last time that we can do friendly games and try a few things tactically, personally and everything. So I'm going to use it. We will have 2 games, which I think is very good for us to see players, to see new things that I want to do. The base will stay the same. I mean by the tactical side and all the things that we worked about. We will continue with this. I think in the last year we did, Zambia did a big development. We are a better team than we was 1 year ago, and we want to keep moving forward. So I think this tournament is very important because it's the last one. Then we have in June, we have a qualification for the World Cup. In September, October, November, we have a qualification for the for African, which of course we want to come to there again. So this is the last time for friendlies preparation game, and I'm going to use it, as I say, well, that I will have more information about things that I want to know.
That's it for our main news tonight. Before I go, here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Government urged to abandon online media regulation plans. Court slaps child battering Apollo Army wife a 7-year imprisonment. HAILSTORM leaves 20 families homeless in LUPOSOSHI district. In international news, Nigeria warns of more possible kidnappings. And in sports news, Grant picks squad for Malawi FIFA-WINDOW tournament. Our verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 John 2, verse 17. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you.